evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to episode 288 of the ProSynth Network live show. My name is Rob, or Robbie, or whatever you want to call me. I've been called many things in my time, some of them broadcastable, others not so much. And welcome to the show. It's just gone 7 p.m. here in the UK, and wherever you might be in the world, I hope you're having a lovely day and you're looking forward to a weekend. And we are the grease that will ease you in to your weekend of, I don't know, whatever you might be doing. Hopefully it's kind of synth or music related, but we're here to get it off to hopefully a decent start. So thank you everyone who's joined us. Thank you all. If this is your first time watching, maybe you caught us at Bristronica not last weekend but the weekend before, and you've just tuned into us for the first time. Hello, welcome, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also to anyone that saw us at the Musical Museum in Brentford at the weekend just gone, I have to say, wonderful representation from some of our viewers. Just sitting there and watching people walk by with ProSynth Network t-shirts and hoodies and stuff was just glorious. I love to see that thing. It's just lovely to see. So thank you if you were one of those people. I know our very dear the Hand of Lenin was in the crowd as well. So hopefully he'll be joining us in the audience tonight. Hi to everyone that's in the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch is the other service that we broadcast on. If you want to join in with the chat, please do. I'll give you some instructions on that in just a minute. But let's first of all get all the housekeeping stuff out of the way, and we'll crack on with our illustrious guests that we have with us this week. First of all, if you haven't already, do give us a subscribe. It really does help us. It costs you nothing and means the absolute world to us. If you can do that, click the subscribe button and hit the bell if you want to get the notifications of every time we go live or we do a special or whatever it might be. It really does help us, and it will help you not miss any of our content. If you want to like the show, apparently it's better if you like it during the live stream. So if you're watching live and you can hit that thumbs up button, that'd be really, really nice. If you could do that right now, that'd be fantastic. Commenting on the show, we love it. We love you joining in. Please do comment in the YouTube chat, the Facebook chat, or the Twitch chat, and we will see all of those messages come through. And if you want to leave a question, then all you've got to do is just stick a big capital Q in front of your question, and that just helps me and my rough eyesight pick it out and put it into the bucket there. We will bring it out and ask that question in the show. And of course, if you know somebody who would really enjoy the show but doesn't currently watch it, then please do share the link around. It's very easy to do. We just send them to YouTube, and our handle is @ProSynth Network. That's all you need to do. If you want to support us even more, you could join our Patreon page. If you join our Patreon page, as of 5 minutes ago, there's a brand new freebie on there. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. But when you join our Patreon page, it costs a minimum $2. You can give more, but you only have to give a minimum $2 per month, and you can turn that on and off as and when you want to do that. But you will get access to all this free content. So there's patches for loads of Cherry Audio synthesizers and hardware synthesizers. There's exclusive video content. There's ad-free video content. There are benefits to joining, and of course the biggest benefit is that warm fuzzy feeling you get knowing you've supported the channel and help us pay our bills to keep us on air. So that is our Patreon page. The same applies to YouTube channel membership. You can do exactly the same with YouTube channel membership, and you will get all of that free stuff as well. And again, it's a minimum $2 a month, and again, you support the channel, which is fantastic. I mentioned earlier people wearing t-shirts and jackets and all sorts of things. Well, you can get your very own prosynthnetwork.com/merch. We have our merchandise store where you can get t-shirts with our logos on in different colors. You can get hoodies and sweatshirts. You can get big drinks bottles like this, and you can get placemats or coasters like this. And if I could, I would show you the lovely computer mat that I have here, which is very nice. And there's loads of things. Badges and stickers and all sorts. So if you want to avail yourself of some of those things, we're able to take a few pence off of each of the sales and put that into the electric meter to keep us going for another year or so. So that's our merchandise store. If you want to follow us on social media, we're across all of the main decent social media channels: YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitch, Instagram, Threads, And still, we're on TikTok. I still don't know why, but there you go. At ProSynth Network is our handle over there. And I did mention about subscribing to the show a little earlier. Today, we hit a milestone. We actually hit, I'm so chuffed with this. I know it's not a big number in terms of YouTube subscribers, but we hit 5,000 subscribers. So we are now in the 5K club. We don't get a plaque. We don't get a pay rise. We don't get anything else. Thank you. Thank you very much. But we do get the warmth and support of you people. And we thank each and every one of the 5,000 people that have subscribed. I know I'm probably one of those subscribers. I subscribed with my other channel just to get us going. But there's around 5,000 of you that think that we do a good enough job. And we'd love to have more. I'd actually love to, to double that maybe this time next year. That'd be fantastic. We're such a long way off from having one of those fancy silver plaques in the background, but you never know. We might get there one day. But thank you to every single one of you that has subscribed to this channel. We do this for you. We make this just for you people, and we appreciate your support. So thank you very, very much indeed. Right, that's enough of me waffling on, at least for now anyway. We are down 2 people today. Andrew is off. I know he's in the chat, but he's off somewhere else helping family members move home. So Andrew's taken the evening off, which is absolutely fine. And then just before we went on air, Kent rung in sick. So unfortunately, Kent's not feeling very well. Hopefully he's watching the show. So hello, Kent, and hope you feel better soon. So we're down 2 guys, but I've got my stalwart support from up north. I've got Mr. Scott McAuley with me. How are you doing, Scott?
Good, good. So does that mean you're 2 men short, and now you've got 1 short man?
If you want to put it like that, you can put it like that. How's your week been?
It's been good. Been busy again this week. Yeah, it's been very, very good though. Very productive, which is good.
Good.
I've managed to get some bits and bobs of music done in between doing patches for this form as well. So
nice. Yeah,
so it's been. You have weeks like that you just get loads done, and then other weeks where it just seems to be a little bit of writer's block or sound designer's block, one of the two.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a good one this week. So
excellent. Well, I'm very glad that you've been able to join us again. We really appreciate your input.
Good to be here.
And,
good to be here.
Thank you for coming in. So, as you may or may not know, if you've looked at the thumbnail, and of course, every time Cherry Audio brings something out, 3 days later they're going to be here. That's what happens. They're very gracious with their time, and we have got not 1, not 2, but 3 representatives to talk about their brand new product, which we'll introduce formally very soon. But first of all, let's bring in Cherry Audio's head honcho, the man who has more synthesizers than he has warm dinners of an evening, and he's got a beautiful one next to him today. It's the one and only Dan Goldstein. Welcome, Dan.
Hey, hello, all you beautiful synthesizer people.
Yeah. Lovely T-shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
That's the Bob Moog Foundation one.
It is, yeah, for the Synth Legends video that they had. It's fantastic.
That's a cool shirt, absolutely. Yeah. Before we get into the fun stuff, how are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm real good.
Are you just basking in that post-release glow?
So much. I mean, I know I say this a lot, but this release was a big deal for us because there's a lot of new stuff in the Trident. There's this whole new effects system that we've built. There's a new polyphonic sequencer. The Trident itself is essentially 3 synthesizers. So it was a lot of work to get to this point. And it's been extremely well received, I'm happy to say, and I think we all just feel really good about this one.
Fantastic. Well, it is, I have to say, it is one of my favourites. Just simply just playing it straight away sounds so big. But we'll talk about that in more detail shortly. Fresh off of his holidays, in fact, I believe he's still on his holidays, but he was keen to jump in. We have also Cherry Audio's main designer, Mal Meehan, welcome.
Hey,
how are you?
Good.
Did you enjoy your break? Are you still on it, or?
Well, no, I'm back to work. But,
yeah,
I'm wearing the.
Yeah, you still look like you're on holiday, but yeah. Keep it fresh. So, all good with you? You had a lovely break, and you come back to hopefully a very successful launch.
Yeah, I've missed all the run because I was away for it, so I'm sort of playing catch up now. But it all seems fantastic, which is great news.
Cool stuff. Well, absolutely fantastic to see you as always. And this time we've got somebody else. We've got somebody extra. This gentleman is known as a marketing innovator, a brand builder, no less. He's been in the business for probably over 30 years. You've seen his face and his playing, certainly in the last few days anyway, in the build-up and to the release of this instrument. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our biggest honour to welcome to the show Mr. Mike Martin. Hello.
Hey.
Let's give you you get the
Thank you so
round of
much.
applause and cheers.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome,
it's a
Mike.
pleasure to be here.
No, thank you for coming and thanks for taking time out in your day. Do we find you at home today?
Yes, this is my home studio, the one that you see in the videos. So,
Love, that's fantastic. And whereabouts in the world, roughly speaking, don't give us an exact location.
Chicago suburbs.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Excellent.
right
I've got
in
a
the-
work colleague.
right in the Midwest.
Nice. Excellent stuff. So just give us a little bit of a background about who you are, because that's always the best person to ask.
Well, so I'm Mike Martin. I got my start in the music business, just working in a music store. As early as like 16 years old. So, I've been enthralled with synthesizers and electronic instruments since I got my Poly 6, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, when I was 14. And so, this side of the industry, being working for manufacturers, is something I always strive to do. But it started in music retail. I started doing demos for companies like Kurzweil, traveled all over the US for them, started doing sound development for them, which that sound development work, doing samples and things like that, actually landed me a job at a company called Sonic Foundry, which there's an interesting twist. I'll let Dan tell that story. And then I went. I wasn't there very long, and worked for Kurzweil full time for about 8 years. Not only as a sales guy, but ended up doing marketing and product management for them.
Sure.
I worked at Yamaha after that for a few years, and then I left there for a big job at a small company, but unfortunately it didn't last. I was at TC Electronic here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Before all kinds of things happened to that company, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then the last 17 years until earlier this year, I was at Casio America. I was the general manager of marketing for that company, and did all kinds of things. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. And luckily, in the last several years, I've had the pleasure of also doing some things on the side with this lovely team at Cherry Audio.
Yeah, because your name has definitely popped up in a number of releases, and it's good to see you certainly at the forefront of this one, and with good reason. So brilliant! There we go. We've got a nice panel here of people, and we're going to talk all things Trident in just a moment. But before we do, I need to say some big thank yous. First of all, to our missing Andrew Longhurst. He's giving his donation, the same amount as our number of shows. Thank you very much indeed.
Tried, but ain't going to make it.
But thank you very much indeed for that. Koshta Kai, tester extraordinaire. Look in your synthesizer manuals, and you might see that name spring up quite a bit. He's a prolific guy, and what he doesn't know, it probably ain't worth knowing. Thank you so much indeed for your donations. Ayami Khan, I hope I've pronounced that correctly. £10 donation. Thank you very much indeed, and thanks for these very nice patches. You're more than welcome. Absolutely more than welcome. We'll talk about those patches in a moment. Homegrown, up there in Warrington, I believe. Dock their wages, joking aside. Well wishes to Andrew and healing vibes, I presume that's supposed to say. To Kent, absolutely. I hope well, I know Andrew's watching. I hope Kent's watching as well. The wonderful, brilliant Amanda Chowdhury over there in California. $2, thank you very much. PSN, Cherry Audio, always a great combo. We like to think so. And, Scott McAuley's hand, who's just dropped a tenner in there for the 5,000. Thank you very much indeed. I'm still a little bit giddy about that myself. And there's one more I've got to say hello to, who has made a very generous donation of 5 ProSynth Network memberships. If you are the recipient of one of those, do say hi. We'll say hi back. But this is, of course, the wonderful Robert St. John, who is the marketing, is he marketing director? I don't want to misname him yet. Marketing director for Cherry Audio. He's the guy I deal with pretty well. Given this year, you've had so much stuff out. I almost deal with this guy on a day-to-day basis. But he's like superb. He looks after us so well. He does you superb credit, and thank you very much indeed for gifting those 5 wonderful memberships. I hope that everyone that was in receipt of one of those enjoys all the free stuff. All you got to do when you, if you've got a YouTube channel membership, to get the free stuff, go to the YouTube channel, and at the top of the page there's a tab marked Posts. Click on that and it takes you to all the community posts, and as a member you will see all of the stuff that you get for free as part of your membership. So you will find in there today, released about 18 minutes ago, a brand new set of patches for the Trident Mk.III, compiled by James Dyson, who does a lot of the factory patches, and also our very own Andrew Longhurst. So they're all free to our Patreon and YouTube channel members. Right now you can go over there, and if you're a member or a Patreon supporter, you get those completely free. We'll play a little clip of some of or at least one of those patches that James demonstrated to us a couple of days ago on his channel there. So right, let's get into this. Before we do, we always play the trailer video so that everyone knows what we're talking about. Of course, this week Cherry Audio have released their latest plug-in synthesizer, and it is the glorious Trident Mk.III. Looking as good as it sounds, that is the Cherry Audio Trident Mk.III, beautifully demonstrated by Mike Martin.
Yeah, very well done.
His track, Ascension, which you can go and listen to in its entirety over at Mike Martin's YouTube page, which we'll post a link to a little bit later on. But it's a beautiful kind of synth wavy demonstration of what is an incredible synthesizer. It doesn't take a scientist to work out that the name Trident is quite self-explanatory. It is essentially 3 synthesizers in one, but it never really took off. It never got its feet in because there were other things in the way, and we'll learn a little bit more about that, I'm sure, in the next hour or so. First of all, as we always do, we come to Dan first. Tell us, first of all, why Trident, and how was the experience from beginning to end?
I love the Trident. I have a Trident. I love it. It's a synthesizer that everybody always describes with the word majestic. You'll see that word again and again. Oh, that sounds majestic. You've got strings and brass and synth and this great big lush beautiful sound, and nobody knows about it. I was at that awesome museum in Brentford last year, and they have this amazing Korg exhibit, and the Trident doesn't exist in Korg's own exhibit on their history of synths. It's not an instrument that's well known, but everyone that's ever played one loves it. And months ago, I called up Robert St. John, and I said, "Hey, listen, we've got this product we want to release towards the end of the year, and I think I want to finally do the Trident." but I'm concerned that nobody will know what it is, that no one's ever heard of it. And we kind of went back and forth on it, and in the end, Robert said to me, well, personally, I'd love to play a Trident. And I said, you know what, that's good enough for me. So we moved forward with it, and I'll tell you right away, it's our most successful release of the year, and it's just kind of mind-blowing. Even after all this time, it's so hard to predict how people will react to some of what we do, and everyone just seems to really love this. Everyone seems to get it, which is really satisfying for me, because I love the instrument and I want everybody else to love it too.
Absolutely.
And now they can.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the way that you've done this and presented this, it's hard not to love this thing. It does sound amazing. My only experience of the Trident is just hearing it in videos, particularly the brilliant video by Alex Ball. If anybody hasn't watched that, go and check out Alex Ball's channel. Yeah, it is. Please do go and check that. But that's about my only sort of exposure to it. And then to be able to play with this version is a real treat. There was something very special about early Korg stuff, wasn't there, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny, everybody knows things like the Poly 6 and the Mono Poly, but the Trident in so many ways is the best of all of them. It's, unlike the Poly 6, it's a 2 VCO synth, it's 8 voices instead of 6, it's got those wonderful SSM 2044 filters that just sound fantastic, it's got the best strings that were ever on a string synthesizer. And the reason why is it is not a top octave divide down string synth. The string sounds and the brass sounds are actually derived from the 8 VCO ones of the analog polysynth section. So they're actual VCO derived sounds. They drift and they beat against each other and they do all the things that string synths don't do. Wow. And it's a great musical instrument. It's very, very musical. It's got a built-in flanger that's a wonderful flanger. And it's just, a very inspiring instrument. And it was 100% the wrong instrument to come out from Korg in 1981. Yeah. I think people just didn't get it. And they tried a version 2, a Mark II in 1982. And by 1983, the DX7 came out. And that was the end of all of that. Yeah. But it's such a great gem, and it's beautiful to boot.
It was a case of like wrong time, wrong place, wasn't it? Because 81, 82, when the Trident was in existence, we got the Prophet 5, we got the Jupiter 8, and then as you said in 83, the DX7 comes along, and everything changes. Nobody wants analog with wood cheeks and all this kind of stuff. They want digital, they want sleek, they want crystal clear, things that don't go out of tune. And it was just a victim of that. It wasn't that it was a bad synth at all, was it?
No, but if you think about it, in 1982, when everyone's watching MTV and playing their Prophet 5s and their Jupiters, nobody was out there saying, hey, what would be cool would be one of those 1970s string synths. We haven't seen one of those in a while. Obviously, it's so much more than that. But I just, I think from a marketing angle, I think people just didn't get it.
No.
But, again, I'm glad it exists. And then what's so cool about this is I approached Mal with this project, and I think Mal's initial instinct was, well, let's, since it's got strings and brass and synth, let's treat it like a virtual orchestra. Let's build an instrument where you hit a key and you get a whole orchestra of sound with arpeggiators and sequencers. And he just came up with this wonderful design that takes the Trident to, so far beyond what the original instrument did. And I think people are really responding to that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's pretty good at that, is our Mal. Yes. Mal, tell us, how did you approach this? You got the brief from Dan. What were your objectives with the design of this?
Well, I'm a big string synth guy, and I'm a big sort of home organ guy. So, and then growing up, I had my brother's Poly 6 Poly, and then later on, I had a Lambda, which I absolutely loved, and all the other combi stuff, Moog Opus 3s and trilogies and all sorts of things. I think the thing for me was that we had to do something that just took the three elements and brought it, to modern.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really about, I love this sort of auto accompaniment you get on home organ. And that was really where I was trying to pitch this. I want it to be able to have one finger chords and, one finger autoplay. And, I had all these ideas in my head, and it just seemed to be the right instrument to to start developing those ideas.
Yeah. From a visual perspective, it's a really pretty thing. It's very neatly divided up into its three sections. You've obviously replicated that, but you've added to that because the new effects section that we find at the bottom of the keyboards. Was it a challenge to squeeze all of that in? Did you have fun with playing with that design and improving upon it?
So in the background, we've been working on the effect system for probably the whole year. So with that came the idea of standardizing the size and the ratio of our instruments. So already I knew how much screen real estate I had to play with. And if you look at one thing I liked about the Trident, the original design, it has this step down panel that steps down from the top.
Yeah.
So once we started laying out the main sound engine, it just seemed like a natural progression just to cascade, to continue cascading, down the instrument.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that I was able to put everything in the space that we had for what is the universal effects system. It all fit. I mean, it wasn't like I had to go back and redo it. It just literally everything fit.
Yeah.
And I have a canny knack of being able to see something in my mind before I commit to it.
Okay.
So in doing it, straight away it came out. There wasn't a huge amount of reiterations of the UI. So it is pretty much what I final piece, other than maybe a few buttons that we changed here and there, is basically the initial design.
Yeah. So somebody who would come from the hardware would probably know their way around this quite easily. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to change the actual synthesizer brass and string sections very much. Obviously, we introduced, I beefed out the synthesizer section a touch.
Yeah.
But it really is very close to the original instrument.
Cool stuff. So Mike, you've we've certainly done a great video, which I think we might be able to show a clip of in a bit. But you've compared this to the Poly 6, and with good reason. Tell us a little bit about the linkage between the two.
Well, how this started, my involvement with this particular product was interesting because I had a little spare time and my Poly 6, which is right over here.
Oh yeah.
I had in pieces and just, it had been neglected. It had been sitting in the closet. It did, like, half the keys didn't work. All the knobs needed cleaning. And I just finished restoring it, and I wrote a piece of music with it, and I sent it to Robert, and I said, "Are you guys gonna do anything Korg? Because I can't believe I've neglected this thing for so long. It sounds wonderful." And he said, "As a matter of fact," I mean, he was just days away. So I was in love with this instrument again, and then I was introduced to this virtual version of the big brother of this product just within a couple days.
Yeah. And
of course, I had to do the A/B comparison, but what they did, capturing the essence, the flavor of that SSM 2044 filter, it's all there. Yeah. And obviously it's much more than a Poly 6, so it is a pretty stunning instrument. So, and then Robert said, "Well, we'd like you to do a song with it." and we want to use it for a teaser. And that had its own fun challenges because I didn't want to give it away entirely in the teaser. The teaser is about 30 seconds long or so. And if you listen back to that beginning of that track, you'll hear that flanger kick in. I mean, I wanted to turn it up like a lot more, but I also didn't want to give it away. But at the very, very, very end of that song, I let that flanger sing out a little bit longer. So, with all these enhancements, it was fun because you want to hear that authentic brass but also show off things like the motion sequencer and the arpeggiator and the strings and the flanger. So I tried to check all of those boxes.
Yeah, that must have been tough because there's a lot of things to show off here. The synthesizer section on its own is glorious. The brass section is lovely. The strings are lovely. Put them all together with the effects, and I mean, you could be there for hours just going through this stuff.
Yeah, I was disappointed when Robert said, "Yeah, we went about 70 seconds." Oh, come on! How am I going to show all that in 70 seconds?
I know, right?
That's
Crazy.
just the intro.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
So.
Scott, have you ever played one of these? Have you ever come across one of these?
No, and watching James actually and watching some of the demos on YouTube, I think I might be grabbing this one, which I'm ashamed to say will be my first Cherry Audio product. So yeah, I've just software since when I started getting into this whole sound design for analog gear, I kind of took a back step with buying software since, but this one has really grabbed me. That sounds phenomenal. It really does. You've done a great job with them all, to be fair. It's just I'm so busy with this lot behind me that it's just software is kind of taking a bit of a back seat for me for now. But I'll definitely be grabbing this one for sure.
Yeah.
It sounds absolutely amazing. I know, Wookie, shame on me.
It has actually got me looking on eBay to think, could I pick one of these up? I think I saw one for around $3,500,
$3,000, $4,000.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not insanely expensive for what it is, but I think now that the kind of the cat is out of the bag and people know what the hardware can do, you might find the used market actually going up. I want to ask, and I understand it might be a slightly delicate question, but was there any trouble actually doing the Trident in terms of, Korg being or getting a little antsy about it, or is this something that you're able to do without having to worry about that too much?
There's no trademark on the Trident name. I honestly don't know for sure that anyone at Korg even knows that they made this product 40 years ago. I mean, if half the people before we made this software, half the people I showed this synth to thought it was a Triton or a Trinity. They'd never heard of the Trident. It is one of these instruments that I think of as exactly what Cherry Audio is all about, because what other company would do this instrument? It's not, it's not one of the big obvious synths to do, but it's just a lovely piece of history, and I love these obscure instruments that time has sort of left behind. And this is again, one of my personal favorites, because you can't not play a Korg Trident and not smile. It just, you hit those keys and you just get this massive sound out of it, and it's why we play these instruments for that, for that joy. It's a very joyful instrument.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is kind of the Cherry Audio thing, isn't it? That you're not bringing out versions of synthesizers that everyone else has done. I mean, there's one or two crossover points here and there, but mostly you are championing the ones that just kind of fell away but really need to be
celebrated.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
The good thing is as well, it's preserving them. It's actually, and it's putting it in the hands of people that probably would never have had the chance to play one. Which is amazing stuff. It's great.
That's always been the goal. I've been lucky enough to be collecting this equipment for decades. but obviously it's not easy to find some of these things. And
No.
I'll tell you what, if you open up a Korg Trident, there's a lot of circuitry
I bet.
inside it. It's very, very analog. There's a lot of wires. There's a lot of circuit boards, and so it's not that they're fragile exactly, but there's a lot that can go wrong with them.
Yeah.
So I have no idea how many are out there, but I love the idea that everyone can experience what it's like to play one of these.
Did you have one of these in your collection for some time, or did you specifically go out and get one for this project?
I've had it for years. I have thought many times of doing the Korg Trident, and it was finally time. It was finally the right time to do it. But I've always had this nagging suspicion that people would react by saying, the Korg what? I don't know what that is. And, obviously, I think we have sort of brought this to people's attention.
Yeah.
But I think when they hear it, especially when they, from the beginning, when they heard the wonderful demo that Mike did, I think people's immediate reaction was, what is that? And how do I make those sounds? Which, again, is, I'm all about the Trident because of how great it sounds. It's all about the sound. It also has some really bizarre and interesting features. The synth itself, like the auto damp feature in the polysynth section, which is something that kind of comes from string synths, and I don't know of another analog polysynth that has that feature. And that's a feature where you can hit a chord and those notes will be decaying, and then when you hit another note, all the decaying notes will very quickly fade out. And it's a very musical thing. The brass section has this, they call it trigger select, where the notes, you can set it to 2 or 4, and the brass won't play unless you hold 4 keys down. So you have the ability to play a lead sound and then hit a chord and have that brass section come in. There's just some really, really clever things.
Yeah, it was very
this
clever in that
instrument.
regard. Yeah. The thing is, we were talking before we came on air, and I was doing a little bit of research over the last few days, trying to identify where you could hear a Korg Trident in a commercial sense. Which artists used them? Rick Wakeman had one. There is a slightly unconfirmed report that Bronski Beat used it on the Age of Consent album, and particularly Small Town Boy. But I was saying earlier, I couldn't find any definitive mention of that. It's not something you saw a lot on TV or in music videos. And if it was used on records, it probably it was there somewhere, but nobody ever kind of documented it. It really is this kind of forgotten gem, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there are bands like OMD and Boards of Canada and Phoenix that know about it and have used it, but it doesn't have that sort of prominent place, where everyone has seen it. And that's one of the problems. In 1982, it cost as much as a Prophet 5. But a Prophet 5 was legendary by 1982. And, paying that kind of money for a Korg Trident, for what people thought was a string synthesizer, I just don't think it made sense. To Korg's credit, they made 2 versions of it. They obviously believed in the idea. They improved it and put out a second version in 1982. But, again, 1983 came around and it was just the wrong product at that time.
Exactly.
I think, I'm sorry, I think Korg, some of the concepts that they started though with the Trident, you see carried through to their modern instruments. I mean, with the Korg M1, which I'm guessing 1986, I don't know. That's when they introduced combi mode, and that's when you could have an orchestra, you could have all these sampled instruments split and layered across the keyboard at the same time. Well, I think that's what they were going for with the Trident, having the synth, the brass, and the string sections. That was the first combi mode, and Korg is really well known for that to this day. Through their modern products, and I think this was the beginning of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Korg, they've always struck me as the company of the big 3. They're the ones that always go a little bit left field. They're always daring to be slightly different Whereas your Rolands and the Yamahas, they kind of stick with the meat and potatoes of synthesize. Every now and again they do they come up with some unique little technology or whatever. Korg always seem to build in that quirkiness or that imagination. Let's try something a little different, and they always seem to build that somewhere in to some of their synths. And the Trident was part, if I'm not mistaken, it was kind of part of like a family of synthesizers that included the Lambda and the Delta as well. Were they all kind of around the same time? I can't remember.
I think they were a bit before.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no similarity. Those are top octave instruments, just a completely different category of synth. If you think about synth history at that time, you had these giant synths. You had things like the OBX-A and the Jupiter 8 and the memory Moog. Korg never had a massive polysynth.
No.
They had the Poly 6 and the monopoly, which you sort of speak of in the same sentence as the Juno 106 or Juno 60 as sort of the affordable instrument that people had. I don't know if the Trident was their attempt to make a big, successful polysynth. It's programmable. It's 8 voices. It has, dual VCOs like you'd find on the Oberheims and the Prophets. And maybe they were just trying to do that, a little bit in left field, like you say, with, let's do a big polysynth and have strings on top of it. And have, a separate paraphonic brass section. I just don't know, but whatever the case is, history records that it just did not take off the way the OBX-8 did and the Prophet 5 did.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I'm just so glad that you've brought it back into everyone's periphery and into their, hopefully into their studios. I'm going to play a little clip now from the free sound set that we have been given to give away by the wonderful James Dyson, who does a lot of your presets. So he always seems to do just like way too many, because he then there is also an extra pack of 100 sounds that you can buy from Cherry Audio that James has done, and then he's got some more, and he's put those into this pack with help from Andrew Longhurst as well, who's put a whole bunch of patches in here. So I think there's about 48 patches in total. Now James was doing one of his live streams the other day, and he started playing this patch, and you'll kind of recognize the style of the sound, but there is something about this patch, and it took me a few minutes to fire up my copy and figure out what was going on here. But this is a little snippet of James playing this wonderful patch that you can get in our PSN Trident pack. So that is a patch called Blades, I believe. It's in the pack that you can get for free. So, the clue's in the name where that was inspired from. But what got me was I was listening to that, and it sounds like rain. It sounds like there's rain going on.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's like little artifacts in there. Yeah.
So I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, maybe he's using the noise generator. No, there's nothing there. Then, of course, I opened up the effects section. And there is this lovely lo-fi effect that just adds all of that into there. Yeah, we can see this on screen here. Thankfully, Mike's got it all fired up. So yeah, there it is. That's the lo-fi effects section, and
Very
you've got
nice.
like a random button, but you can have you've got 5 different controls over the level, and that was providing this kind of rain style sound in just the back. Yeah, there's a hum in there as well. It's a glorious little thing, and it really did.
Super clever use of that.
Yeah. And so he starts playing. I had to cut like the first part when he was playing that patch because it would have got us a copyright strike, and Vangelis's estate would have been after us for a bunch of revenue. But he starts playing this track, and I'm thinking, oh, he's got the rain going in there, and it's where's that coming from? And I'm thinking he's only using this. Very clever. Who wants to talk about the effects section? Mal, have you got any insights onto that whole effects section? What's new in there, and how is it all working? Did you come up with some new ideas for that?
Well, I mean, as I said before, we've been planning this all year, basically.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge undertaking to do that. In itself, it's probably another instrument in itself.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of technology that the team had to code. I guess Dan will talk to that. But for me, it was just designing. How many effect pedals can I put in there, and that, before Dan gets upset with me. I just really. This was the perfect. I wanted this to come out on a previous synth. I was pushing the lads to get it done, and obviously we're a small team, so we can only do so much. But in the truth, this is the best instrument for it to be launched. That effects system, because of the 3 engines.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you can take each sound engine and put it through its own chain of effects, and then have a 4th chain, a global chain. Where you can add additional reverbs and so on. It was really a huge feat of engineering to do that.
Yeah, and it benefits from it in such a great way. As a performer, as a player, Mike, I mean, when you're given a synthesizer that has this sonic palette just from the synthesis engines, and then you've got all of these effects. You must be like a kid in a candy store, right? Oh, you're muted. Sorry. Your mic's muted.
There we go. I got it.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. A kid in a candy store, because, I mean, not only do you have the things that you want to pay tribute to in the Trident, like the flanger, but then all of the other things. There's a new reverb algorithm in here, the lush verb, all the different delay algorithms, the dual phaser. You'll find all of my patches of like multiple delay units chained one after the other, because I'd use the dual delay and then followed by the tape delay. Just the space that creates. They've done a phenomenal job. And what's unique here is that not only do you have an effect section, but you can apply it to each of those components individually.
Yeah.
So again, you could put that flanger on the strings and maybe a distortion on that brass part. It's like the flexibility is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is a very, very powerful thing.
Oh, and I'll add one more thing about that. They added the brilliant capability to save those effects chains. So if you've created a combination that you like, again, chorus, delay, phaser, whatever the combination is, you can store that chain. So if you're building another sound later on, you can load it up. Really well done.
Yeah, it is. It's super, super nice. There's loads of people in the chat. Half God, Half Beast. You're really selling this to me. Oh, go out and buy it. It's there. It's it's a great synth, and of course it is at the legendary Cherry Audio prices as well. Robert just says a big tip of the hat to James Dyson, because he contributed presets to the standard factory set of Trident Mk.III, the Momentum collection, which you can buy for $9.99 US from the Cherry Audio website, and of course this new PSN collection, which is available to our Patreon and YouTube channel subscribers. So absolutely, couldn't agree more.
I have to say something about James Dyson.
Oh, come on.
When you design something like this, you have no idea what it's going to sound like. You're adding, 3 engines, 2 arpeggiators, a polyphonic sequencer. You can only imagine in your head what it's going to sound like, and then James Dyson puts it all together in that momentum pack. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
the presets.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm trying to reverse engineer half of them, And it's like, how did you do that? How did you do this?
Yeah. I hate him. he's so good. I hate him. No, I don't. We love you, James.
He really got it. I think he really got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Need to say a big thank you to, first of all, Peter Toll. Great to see you the other week, Peter. As always, wearing your PSN t-shirt. Sounds wonderful. Great demo by Mike. It's on his shopping list tonight, so hopefully there's another sale going in there. But thank you so much for your donation. And to our my fellow compatriot in the PSN live show world, where we go out and do stuff. Peter's he works very hard with me to bring our shows to places like Bristronica and others, and of course we've got our own show coming up next year at Synth Southwest. So he's just donated another £10 to our fund. Thank you very much indeed. And it does show our QR code. We had a big QR code on our banner on stage at Bristol, and people were coming over, and they were so it did work. So that's really cool. Now then, let's see if we've got any questions here. Yeah, we got one from Jason Crouch. How many iterations or versions did it take you to resolve the UI to fit everything in with the sequence of mini keyboard view and everything else that was tried? Mal, I think this is one probably right up your street.
One.
Just one?
Yeah, I mean, other than obviously what happens is as Dan and the team start programming the especially the things like the sequencer, you realize actually we need to have that feature. So some buttons got shifted around or became multi-use or what have you, but in terms of the actual layout, it didn't change from day one.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. That's very good. I mean, it's great to get it right sort of first time. Nick Howes has a question. Nick Howes always has questions. I've got to say again, thank you to Nick for showing up at Bristronica and giving me and Peter something that was older than us, 4.6 billion years old, a piece of meteorite, which is now sitting in a special drawer over there. And I'll get it out to show to people when they come around and visit. He wants to know, maybe this is one for you, Dan, maybe Mike as well. I mean, looking back, did you think that the Trident was Korg trying to look like or compete with the likes of the Prophet 5 and the T8 or the Jupiter 8 even, because that was kind of 82, that was around the same sort of time. Do you think they were trying to compete with that, or were they still trying to kind of forge their own path?
Well, okay, so forget about the brass and the strings for a moment. What you have is an 8-voice, 2 VCO, SSM filter polysynth with programmable memory and built-in flanger effect. I mean, that right there is better than a Prophet 5, right? That's like an 8-voice synth. That's right up there with the Jupiter 8. Yeah. The problem is, because you have that brass section and that string section, the synth itself doesn't do things like cross modulation. It doesn't even have a noise source. So there were some compromises made in the synth in order to fit everything that they wanted to do. But then the extra sounds can be split and layered across the keyboard, and you can save all your patches. So yeah, I do. I think they said, well, let's not just do another polysynth. Let's do another polysynth that's a whole orchestra, of analog sound. And again, great synth. I'm not sure people got it. I don't think people got what they were going for at the time.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, I don't know what the price was either at the time either. So that, price could have been a consideration. But, obviously the Prophet got everybody's attention, and it's sad. I mean, this was a majestic beauty that everybody just missed. Yeah. And again, for now to bring this to a way that all of us can experience it is outstanding.
Yeah, I think Starsky Carr put a video out, I think earlier on today, where he's built a track using like 5 or 6 instances of the Trident, and he did this little comparison. And I think the Trident was around 2.1, 2.2, and the Prophet was a little more, and then the Jupiter was a bit more than that. And so, from a price perspective, it wasn't too uncompetitive. It was kind of maybe one of the slightly cheaper options, but it certainly wasn't overpriced. It just got overlooked, and I think that's just the criminal. That's what happened. But thankfully now we've got it back. in software form, and it sounds amazing. Quick shout out to Kissing the Machine. Thank you very much. Congrats on the 5K. Great show and great guests. Thank you very much. I can certainly agree on the latter. Thank you for your donation. And we've got a new member, Jeannie. I suppose, is it Jeannie or Jenny? She's become a YouTube member. So thank you very much for that. And if you haven't already got the Trident, go and get it, and then go and grab those free sounds. You will not be disappointed by those at all. Let's see. Here we go. There's a question from Jason Knox, who asks, I realise it would be a lot of work, but any dreams to implement this new FX split design to existing Cherry Audio instruments? Are you looking at retrofitting in terms of doing updates to the existing catalogue at all?
It's possible, but we have so much new stuff that we want to do. But what's cool is this effect system will be part of pretty much all instruments going forward, and I'm not sure anyone knows this yet because we've only just done the Trident, but those effects chains that you save are shared amongst all future products that we do. So, so instruments you buy from us in the future, you'll be able to instantly load effects chains that you've saved in other instruments.
That's a fantastic idea. That's very good.
And if we will probably be adding more effects. Right now there are 17 effects, which is a lot. I mean, if you think about it, Mal had to design 17 beautiful effects interfaces, and then we had to program 17 effects, many of which are new. The lush verb, there's a new spring reverb, there's a new ring modulator, that lo-fi noise effect. They're all, all of them are either completely new code or sort of classic things that we've done with new features and new kinds of modulation. All of this had to be designed, and we have other effects that we want to add to the system. So you may get in the future updates to Trident that include new effects as well.
Yeah, cool stuff. So we've got some more questions. The questions are piling in. Andy Synchrotron, who has a live stream every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. UK time. Go and watch it. He has a question. Do Cherry Audio plan on doing something outrageous that isn't based on a classic synth? And obviously you have done Harmonia and
Dream
Synth and Signs. You've done stuff like that. You have been on a bit of a run, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, but any chance of are you planning on doing a unique synthesizer again, one of your own designs? Is that so? Oh, you don't have to give us details, but just say you're doing it. Just say yes or no. Yes, there you go. Brilliant stuff. Look forward to that. So that's good stuff. But yeah, Andy, if you want to go and check out the Cherry Audio catalog, there's Dream Synth, there's Signs, there's Harmonia. Was there anything? Have I missed anything out there? Those are the three, I think, three big ones. But yeah, there's definitely stuff out there. Yeah, so, and fingers crossed there'll be more soon. Let's see, what else have we got here? Here's I think one we can answer quite easily. How many installs does the license allow? I'd like this on my studio Mac and my live rig Mac Mini. I think that's entirely doable as long as you've got your the sync application installed. You can just
so a Cherry Audio license allows you to install the software on 4 different computers, and if you want to move it onto a 5th, you can remove the license from the 4th and add it to a 5th at any time.
Yeah, nice.
As many as you can. Yeah, move your entire library to 4 new computers if you want to.
Fantastic. So there you go. Hopefully, Peter, that has answered your question. Let's see what else we got here. I think we touched on this earlier, but Sean wants to know, how was the keyboard split function developed, and what was the inspiration there? So I'm assuming you're talking about this very easy to understand, like sliding bars that you just move around very simply. I mean, was that something that you had already kind of got in mind, or was that a new thing that you've added to the UI here? I guess, Mal, I suppose this is in your...
It was new for this. I've been wanting to do something like this on, for a number of synths. I mean, my background is in multimedia, so I'm always, I like to design things that are easy for people to grasp and understand. So, and play with.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those, so there it is. So you can see these. You've got the red, the green, and the blue, and you can just drag those to the left and to the right to give your spreads and splits and layers. It's just a very, very simple yet effective way of doing things. So yeah,
the original Trident hardware has these toggle switches where you can put the 3 sections on the left half of the keyboard, the right half of the keyboard, or all the way across the keyboard. So that was a capability of the original instrument, and as Mal does, he was inspired by that and said, well, why limit it to those 3 positions? Why not, make it anything you want it to be?
Yeah.
He also had the lovely idea of the crossfade switch.
Yes.
Where, you can overlap 2 sounds and have one fade out while the other fades in. And that, I think, came out really cool.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, and then from a programming perspective, to have the quick split options, I think there's 12 of them or so on the right hand side, so you can just in fact I might be able to just put it up on the screen, wrong view, over on the far right hand side, you can just with the touch of a button choose where those splits and layers are going to happen. It's so fast, and it saves a lot of time if you're building patches.
Yeah, definitely. Excellent stuff. Right, let's see what have we got. I know this does come up again, but if you wouldn't mind entertaining, we always get the question about, are we going to get these in iOS? It's the same code, right? Well, I don't know if it's the same code. I know that Dan very famously a few appearances ago did this sort of weird this thing where he just passed something in front of the camera and then down again. So any news on iOS versions of any of your stuff?
There's nothing to report right now. I mean, the answer to that question is the Trident is a big, wide interface with a lot of knobs, and if you put that on a small iPad screen, it's just not. It doesn't translate well.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the code. It's about, the interface has to be right for that system. And it is something we want to do. It is something we might do in the future. But again, we make these decisions where we say, well, we could spend time on that, or we could release these products that people are always asking us to do. And we just, in the end, get more excited about building something new, I think, than taking something we've already done and trying to shrink it down and into a new, less cumbersome interface. Yeah. So I don't know. We're always open to doing things. You never know what we're going to do next.
Yeah. As Crazy Rabbit says in there, he says, I second iOS even though we aren't the popular kids. You're not ignored. Don't worry. We see you, as they say.
I have to say that designing for touchscreen is a very different language. So it's a lot of work, basically.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. Let's see if we've got any more questions. Have you employed any different coding techniques to achieve the full, rich bottom end? It genuinely sounds markedly different. So
that's an excellent question. So the way that Trident hardware works, I don't know how technical you guys want me to get here, but basically you have analog VCOs. And those analog VCOs, those individual VCOs, are divided down to create the multiple octave square waves for the string synth.
Okay.
So when you divide an oscillator down, you create square waves. And then in order to turn those square waves into sawtooth waves, what you do is you take the square wave and you start charging a capacitor. And when you get to the next cycle of square wave, you discharge the capacitor and you start charging it again. And the problem with that is fundamentally, if you have a lower note on a keyboard, then the capacitor charges for a longer time until it resets. And a higher note on the keyboard, it charges for a short time and then resets. So one of the constant problems with doing divide down synthesizers like the Moog is that low notes on the keyboard have a higher amplitude. They're much louder than high notes on the keyboard. And people solve that. For example, on the Moog, every single key has a little circuit board with different values on it in order to compensate for that so that all the notes come out at the same volume. Mm-hmm. But in the case of the Korg Trident, they they're VCO based and they don't know what note you're going to hit next, so they couldn't do that. And so the nature of the strings and the brass in particular are that you have this big, heavy, loud low end and this really sort of delicate, light high end. And it ends up being really sort of beautiful in the string section. I don't know that it would have worked well for a general purpose synth, but in something this orchestral, you hit these big booming low notes, bump, 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 and then these light sort of delicate high notes. And it just sort of works, and it's really pretty. But it's, I don't want to call it a mistake exactly, but it's just sort of an artifact of the architecture of this instrument that just happens to, really work with this instrument.
Yeah, that was a brilliant description. Lots of people getting rather excitable in the chat about the depth of technicality that was entered into there. We appreciate it.
I didn't know that about the saw with the capacitor though. I didn't realise that. So you learn something new every day.
Yeah, so like a Selena, for example, every single key or group of keys, it's actually in the technical manual of the Selena, for example. They have different resistor values in order to charge the capacitor at a different speed, and it's just something you have to do. It's why divide down instruments, they were cheap to make, but there were problems with them. Yeah. And again, the Trident is not a divide down instrument; it's a VCO driven instrument. But those extra sawtooth waves for the brass and the string section are generated using divide down technology, and there's a price to pay for that. Yeah, and it's a good price in this case.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, lots of people really getting very excitable in the chat. Very nerdy. Brilliant question, Stephen, though. Thank you very much. Those are the sort of questions.
Good question, yeah.
Yeah, we really, really love that. Simon Greatbatch, Dr. Funk himself, £10 donation. Thank you very much. 10,000 subscribers by Christmas. I wish. That would be amazing, though, wouldn't it? What a leap. We could do 50% extra. No, 100% extra. Sorry, what am I thinking? My maths has gone. 100% extra in the last... 12 weeks of the year or 10 weeks. It's getting close to Christmas now, isn't it? The nights are drawing in. Just want to say before we do anything else, if you really enjoyed the Cherry Audio trailer music, we mentioned it earlier, we played a clip from it in the promo. You can go and buy that track from Mike's Bandcamp page. It's $1.50, which is nothing. You can go and download that track. It uses 19 instances of the Trident Mk.III. That's pretty damn cool. So I'm just going to do that and follow that page. I should buy that.
Thank you so much.
No, not a problem. I'll be buying that after the show. So there you go. If you want to do that, of course, it's all over the trailers as well. And of course, if you want to learn more about Mike, he has his own website, which is MikeMMartin.com. Look at that handsome chat there. Don't type in MikeMartin.com as I did. Who the hell's this guy? It's Mike M.
There's
Martin.
too many. Just in my town, there's 5 Mike Martins. There's too many of us.
And you're not related?
No.
Wow.
No.
That's
I mean,
cool.
My dad had the same name, so technically I'm a junior.
There you go. Mike Martin II. Yeah, but it tells you all about Mike and his experiences. You can say, we spoke to Mike earlier about this. Casio, TC Electronic, Yamaha, Kurzweil. There's some experience there. You can get in touch with Mike through that webpage as well.
Thank you.
But you can learn more about the gentleman right there.
Great looking page as well, actually.
It is.
Very well designed page.
Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, you can go to the Cherry Audio website, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of our brand new feature here, where we can actually put a link in the top left-hand corner of the screen. Just scan that in with your mobile device or whatever device you use to scan in your QR codes. That'll take you right to this very page where you can buy the Trident Mk.III for just $69 US. I don't know what. Oh God, who's that face in the middle there? Oh, get rid of him there. They're all the sound designers, of course. James Terrace, who's been on our show. Andrew Longhurst, who we can't get off the show, Mark Wilcox, who we've had on the show, Mike Martin we've had on the show, Drew Schlesinger we've had on the show, James Dyson, however, sir, you need to come on the show. We need to get you up with a microphone.
That's a great idea. We should do that.
We need to do that. We need to hear your Mancunian tones on this channel at some point, because you are basically the odd man out.
He's mad for it.
I know he's mad for it. Loads of testimonials there, lots of demos. Of course, you can download the instrument from here as well. There's Windows versions, Mac OS versions. It works as a VST, an audio unit, AAX, a VST 2 and 3 as well. And then if you want to buy sound packs, then you can do that from the store. Let's go and to the sounds function there, and of course you can see Momentum is there for just $9.99. You can expand your Trident sound set through that, and of course you can expand it even further if you become a ProSynth Network Patreon or YouTube channel member, and you get our pack that has been donated to us by none other than James Dyson and our very own Andrew Longhurst, and there's loads of other great packs in there as well. And it's such a simple, I have to point this out, it's such a simple installation process where you literally take the zip file that you get down when you download, you just drag it onto the interface, let go, boom, that's it. That's all you have to do. No messing around, no having to dig through files and Explorer pages. It's all there, boom, straight in. So really good stuff there. If you haven't clicked on that QR code just up there, that's going to take you to the Cherry Audio page. I'm going to put one up there right now. This is for Mike's Bandcamp page, so if you want to scan that in as we speak, that will take you to there. But of course, just pause the video, watch it back, and you'll get the link there on the screen. Right, well, we've taken up quite a bit of time. We don't normally talk this long about a Cherry Audio instrument, which is great. I love it. But there has been a little bit of news, so if you will indulge us, gentlemen, we'll talk about just a handful of things that have happened in the last 7 days in the world of synthesizers and music technology. Let's first of all kick off with, what should we do first? I think I'm going to do this. Now, I'm going to play you a clip of a video. This is from a friend of mine. His name's Tracy Collins. He is, I think, one of the finest sample designers that I've met that isn't called Steve Howell. And he just does amazing work for his company, Indigenous Instruments. He's now taken on, I believe it's a Les Paul electric guitar. Have a listen to this because it is rather incredible. I'm going to stop it there because it does go off about 3 or 4 minutes. It's well worth watching. This thing is just insanely good.
That's incredible.
Isn't it? So this is Indigenous Instruments. Here is their webpage. It's called the Electric Blue. It's an electric guitar library for the full version of Contact, so this won't work with their free player. But look at the price. I mean, it's just the Cherry Audio prices, goddammit. There's $59 for a sampled instrument that is deeply, deeply multi-sampled. You've got lots of key switching going on there, but it's not just key switching. Depending on how you play your keyboard, it will change the expressiveness of the guitar. And the scripting is done so well that it mimics because the way that you play a chord on a keyboard is not the way you would necessarily play it on the guitar in terms of the order of the notes. So this does a lot of that for you. It's got amp simulations in there and effects, and you've got articulations like hammer-ons and pull-offs and bends and mutes and harmonics and all this kind of stuff. Each of the guitar's pickups were recorded separately but simultaneously, so switching between them occurs just like the real thing. And you can strum it, you can pluck it, you can do all sorts of wonderful things with it. It's $59, for goodness sake. It's insanely good. And this guy, Tracy, has done stunning work. I mean, we've covered some of these over the years. The Appalachia is one of my favourites because you can be a proper Joni Mitchell with this thing. It sounds glorious, and it's relatively small footprint, like a couple of gigabytes for this stuff. Electric Blue, I think that's not that much larger. Didn't say on there, but it didn't take a long time to come down. But Tracy does some of the most amazing work, and I first discovered Tracy when we were working on Akai S5000, 6000 samples. Wow. So we're talking about 25 odd years ago.
Wow.
And Tracy was just doing some amazing things. This was still is one of my favorites, the Solid State Symphony. It's an orchestra that's electronic instruments, and it's just stunning stuff. But the latest one is Electric Blue, and it sounds incredible. I could hear some gasps and some wows there. I mean, Mike, let's come to you first.
Oh my gosh!
Thoughts on this?
I go back to the early sampling days where 16 megabytes was a lot. So to some degree, what is happening today with contact libraries such as that, where you have gigabytes available, it's mind blowing. What it is amazing to me is just the amount of scripting involved to pull that off as well as he's done. That's quite an achievement.
Yeah.
So. He didn't have to loop any of those samples the way we used to do in the old school days.
I know, right? Yeah. Looking for those 0 points and then...
Try loading one of these libraries from a SCSI drive or a floppy hard drive.
I mean, I've still got CDs. Right? Yeah, I've still got sample CDs that I bought from Tracy all those years ago for the Akai. Thankfully, I managed to put them all onto the hard. Well, it's not a hard drive anymore. It's one of these SCSI to SD cards. So I've got like a 128 gigabyte drive in my Akai now, with everything on there. So the load times aren't so bad. But do we have any guitarists amongst us? Mal, do you tickle a fretboard?
No, I'm a player, but just listening to that tremolo guitar, that would be great for my surf tiki music.
There you go. Absolutely.
I'm a sucker for this, so I will absolutely be buying it.
Brilliant.
It really sounded fantastic.
And if you wouldn't mind, tell Tracy where you heard about us.
Oh, of course.
Tracy's a big supporter of ours. He does. Just full disclaimer, he does send me these things to test and try, and I'm very fortunate in that regard. But it'd be nice to know that we've generated some business. Because we are the synth channel that is known for selling out companies of their synthesizer stock. Because just a few weeks ago we featured the Kodamo Mask 1 EX unit, and Mal even bought one. I mean, I've got one, Mal's got one, loads of people, and it sold out within 16 hours.
Yeah, I tried to get one.
Wow,
I was too late.
Yeah,
I didn't get one.
So if anybody missed out on that, unfortunately, but we all got one, or most of us did. But I spoke to Stefan at Kodamo, and whilst I can't say what it is that he's planning, you may not be too disappointed come the end of the year. So put that cash aside, because you never know.
I've got my name down on the email list, which is worth doing. Yeah,
go to kodamo.org and sign up to those
mine's
newsletters.
Coming today, actually.
Ah, brilliant! Yeah.
It's out for delivery.
That's it. Yeah, because I think the US ones went out a few days later than the UK and EU ones. You won't be disappointed. I actually had, because I've got the Kodamo Mask 1 keyboard, and I did a side by side because a friend of mine wanted to know, how different, because the oversampling is slightly reduced on the desktop version. Honestly, couldn't really tell. And you only lose 2 voices at polyphony, so it's only 10, which is fine. But it's a wonderful thing. But we do sell people out of their products, so I'm always wanting to make sure these manufacturers know where that business comes from,
Great.
It helps us in the future. So there you go. That's indigenous.com/electric-blue. And guess what? We can do one of our fancy schmancy QR codes. If you click on the QR code there, that will take you all the way to the Indigenous website where you can buy that for Contact. Don't forget, it's for Contact full version, not the player version, because the cost of certainly for a one-man band like Tracy, the cost of getting those licenses is quite prohibitive. So as long as you've got 5, 6, 7 or 8 of the full version, these will work, and they are beautiful. You get lost in them, you really do. Right, so let's see, what else have we got? Yes, our friends at Moog have gone and done something rather wonderful. I'm going to play a little bit of the video. Actually, no, I'm not, because it's a long video. So I said to myself, I will just show it on screen. So let's do that now. Moog have started off, I believe it's 7 lessons of synthesizing. So learning synthesis with Moog. It's called Synthesizing with Moog, and it starts off here. I'll just show a very brief clip. And it's done in that kind of Carl Sagan, old kind of 1970s style. It's really, really cool. And it's explained in a very simple, basic way. So I imagine some of us might go, oh yeah, all right, we know that. But there's a lot of people that won't. And so this is who this is aimed at.
I do this, but instead adopt an attitude of, I wonder what will happen if. In this series, we're going to cover a wide range of topics about synthesizers and music. How do synthesizers work? How do different circuits work? And how would you want to use them musically?
So you get the idea. This is a really simple and beautiful to look at. And this guy who's delivering this is very good at what he does. And as somebody who comes from a training background, I can attest to him being incredibly good at his job. This is all free. It's on the Moog Music website, YouTube site, sorry. Lesson 1, listening, is the introductory lesson. I can't find, I guess they probably can do like 1 a week or something to that frequency. But yeah, it's all produced by the team of experts at Moog Music. It's written by them, and I think it's been shot. Yeah, it was shot at Schneidersladen in Berlin, which is of course Herr Schneider, who's the guy behind Superbooth. It's shot at the place there, so the scenery is beautiful. It's a really, really lovely thing. This is I love synth education stuff because we need more of it. Dan, are you a fan of this? Can you see the benefit of something like this?
Oh, I love the look of it. I love that 70s, 80s TV show look. It's really cleverly done. We have so much amazing technology now, and I'm always surprised how many people I hear from that say, how do I learn this stuff? How do I learn to use a synthesizer? We need more of this. We need more approachable ways to understand all this technology, because those of us that live with it every day, we get these concepts and that's fine. But there's a whole lot of people that love these instruments but don't know where to begin, and they're scared to turn the knobs, and they don't know what's going to happen. So anything that makes people more excited to learn synthesis is a winner in my book, and and it's free. How about that? That's great. Good for them.
And as Craig from the Bob Moog Foundation has just pointed out, there is the overhead projector. I mean, this is my school days all coming back to haunt me. Used to love the overhead projector. Well, used to love abusing the overhead projector before the teacher came in the classroom.
Very clever.
It's a wonderful thing to look at. And I was just trying to find a clip of the outside. There's probably a little bit at the beginning, isn't there? There we go. And it's all shot in Berlin. This is Schneidersladen, which is a great place to go to, by the way. It's mostly modular, but it's a lovely, lovely thing. Mike, are you a fan of this kind of style of education?
This is outstanding. I mean, hats off to them for producing it in such a beautiful way as well. It's outstanding. The world needs this. Yeah.
Absolutely. Scott, you like this?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's great because what it will do is, for people that don't know, and maybe not even got into synthesis, they'll take a look at this and think, it's not as scary as I thought it might be, So, Yeah, it's good for the younger generation as well, just to keep watching and just learn from it, really. But yeah, it's a great idea and very well produced as well. I like the way they've done it.
Yeah, it's
Very nicely
nice.
done.
It's a lovely aesthetic. And talking of aesthetics, Mal, can you appreciate the beauty that's gone into the production?
I mean, it looks like it's shot on Super 8.
Yeah, it does,
which is my bag.
Yeah.
I have 40 Super 8 cameras upstairs.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I used to be a cinematographer, so that's
There you go.
16 mil and 8 mm.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely thing, isn't it? I mean, have you had a chance to look at this at all?
I haven't looked at that one. I was looking at Claudio's Dr. Mix
Oh, yes.
one, because he's just launched his one as well.
I know, and there's Anthony Marinelli as well.
Yeah.
So
But,
we are.
I've got 2 young boys, and they're both musical, and I think this is great for the younger audience.
Yeah.
In our day, we sort of just on stuff and we did it, but kids are very sort of they have trepidation and anxiety about stuff. So this is amazing that they can go somewhere and watch this and pick up on it. So it's great.
Definitely. Yeah, well done. Well done, Moog Music, for doing this. I did wonder if there was any sort of collaboration, because I know that the Bob Moog Foundation do a specific targeted program for young children in certain places certainly within the Asheville area and further afield. I did wonder maybe there was some sort of collaboration or something going on here, but I don't know. Craig was in the chat. I don't know if he could confirm or deny, but it's great that this stuff exists. Right, okay, so that is Synthesizing with Moog. You can go and visit that on the Moog Music YouTube channel. And of course, guess what? We've got a QR code. It's there in the top corner, which is just like there. If you scan that into your device, it will take you straight to that page. Let's see, what else have we got? Oh, we've been talking about Korg. Of course, Korg have just announced a fantastic free update for their wonderful, probably the most successful synthesizer of all time. They released the second version of it some 25 years after the first one, I think it was. And this is the new update to the Microkorg 2. Again, we'll just play a little clip from the promo video because it does go on a little bit, but so this should give you an idea of what's going on.
Hallo, ich bin David Sprague, der DSP-Entwickler des Microkorg 2. Mit diesem
We've got the German version for some reason. Who knows? Who knew? Anyway, let's. I apologise to any of our German viewers. We shan't play that whole thing because most of us don't understand German. Taking me a bit by surprise, that one. So what this is that they've updated the firmware in the Microkorg 2 to now incorporate the Log SDK. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Log SDK is. It allows third-party developers to develop plugins effectively for any system that supports it. So whether you've got one of these, which is probably the most basic version of the Log SDK, the NTS1, and of course there's a second new version of that, but also the Mini Log, the Pro Log, all of those things. Now the Microkorg supports it, and it's launched with 15 plugins developed by the wonderful developer at Sine Vibes, who does amazing stuff. I've got a lot of his effects in here. That's what I primarily use my NTS1 for, his effects. There's 15 of these at launch, but the update is completely free of charge on the Microkorg 2. Scott, are you into the Microkorg at all? Is that something you've ever been?
Not the
Microkorg.
I had one in the past. Mostly just for the vocoder side of things.
Yeah.
But I let that go a long time ago. But I've got the Prolog and I've got the Mini Log XD, which both have the sort of third-party developer effects system in there as well. And it's great idea. So yeah, it's a great little update for that one because it makes a huge difference because it can completely change the sound.
Yeah.
It's a big old update, that one. It's very, very good.
Yeah, it definitely expands the sonic capability of this.
Yeah.
Mike, we've obviously been focused on a lot of Korg stuff today. Are you into the Microkorg at all?
I've never had one, and like you said, the original was the best-selling synthesizer of all time. So this new one, I don't know that it's had quite the momentum that the first one had, but now this SDK that opens up things, and not only effects and different types of sounds, but I believe there's also some sample slicing capabilities and things like that as well.
Yeah.
So makes it a lot more interesting for me, and actually I'm now really into that form factor too, so I think I'll check one out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, the Microkorg, the original Microkorg was just, you saw it everywhere. Literally everyone had one. I had one in here, actually, earlier this year. A friend of mine was doing keyboard parts for an artist that was about to take their album out on tour, and they just wanted to recreate all of the synth parts from the album on a Microkorg. And I'm like, oh, I've never played with one of these things before. Now, I've got the software version, so I started messing around, and I was very surprised at how quickly I could get pretty close to stuff that had been done. Well, it had been recorded in Martin Ware's studio. So, you imagine there's a heck of a lot of big analog stuff in there. And I was getting fairly close with just this little thing. I was really, really surprised. Dan, in that massive room of yours, does a Microkorg lurk in there at all? Or are you tempted by this?
I've never owned one. When I was at the Music Museum there in London at that Korg exhibit, I think they had a gold one, and I learned that that Korg has been manufacturing the Microkorg for like 20 years, just nonstop. And I have played them before. They were very cool when they came out. They're very cool now. They're the best way, the cheapest way to get into vocoder sounds and analog synthesis. And I have to admit, I don't know a lot about the Microkorg 2, but if it just takes that concept to the next level, then that's great. There needs to be, obviously, with Cherry Audio, we are big believers of this technology being accessible to everybody. And, not every instrument needs to be a $5,000 synthesizer that people can't own. I love that there are great sounding musical instruments that like the Microkorg that anyone can get their hands on. And I did buy one once, but it was broken, so I had to return it. That was
But yeah, I mean, it's a great like a first synthesizer for anyone that just wants to get into it. And now it's just so much more powerful. It's it's a great thing. Hats off. We're doing a lot of Korg stuff this week, aren't we? Yeah. We should be on some sort of commission. I bought a Korg synthesizer at the weekend. You can't really see it.
I did see that, Robbie. I did see the box. You shared the box.
Just going to try and gently... No, I'm not going to do it because I'm going to tempt fate. I bought a mini Korg, but the mini Korg, the SM, I believe, the 700 SM. Oh, what a beautiful thing. It's heavy as well for something it's kind of like... what it's made out of, but it's fully analog. It's got a proper spring reverb, so if you knock it on the side, you hear the spring reverb. It's so nice. But it was the first synthesizer, well, the original, the 700, was the first synthesizer I ever kind of properly laid hands on. And Korg were having a bit of a blowout sale at this museum, the musical museum last weekend, and I couldn't resist. And even my music teacher from high school, who I'm still in touch with, I showed him the picture, and he's like, "Oh my god, I remember that." He went into the music store, and the guy wouldn't let him leave until he bought this thing, and then he remembers taking it back and showing, the kids. This was like in the early '80s, how it all worked, and it ended up sitting in the music storeroom. And I was a drummer, or still am a little bit of a drummer, and I'd gone in this store cupboard to get the drums out, and it was a really old drum kit, which none of the pieces went together. They were all from different things, and I noticed this black box, and I opened it up, and inside was this thing. It was almost like the Pulp Fiction moment, when you open the briefcase and it glows. And I was like, great. So I dragged the guitar amplifier in and put this thing down and played a chord, and I thought, oh, it's broken, it's only playing one note, because I didn't know any better. So I took myself off to the library, read a few books, came back and kind of understood it, and that was it. I was the bug bit. So it's great to have one of those in the studio now. It's a lovely thing. Anyway, that's enough about Korg, because they're getting lots of free stuff from us today. Let us talk about something that is going on. This is very regional, so for anybody that's outside of the UK, in fact, anybody that's outside of East Anglia in the UK, this might not be of any relevance to you, but I'm going to share this anyway, because it's our friend and yours, Robin Vincent of Molten Music Technology, is doing this wonderful concept. It's his inaugural event tomorrow. It's called Synth Picnic. And basically, as you can see from the two buttons there, you can either buy synthesizers or rent Modular. And the whole concept is that you go into this little pop-up event and you can play with synthesizers, play with modulars, play with keyboards, have a little bit of fun. And if the bug bites, like it did with me, you can rent some modular gear and take it away and then bring it back at a later date. It's a wonderful idea. Robin's put together 3 or 4 specific units of modular stuff for you to play with. There's one called Delia, which is inspired by the wonderful Delia Derbyshire. There's one called, I think there's a Daphne. Is there a Daphne from Daphne Oram? But he's done some stuff like that. And it's all being held in Norwich, which is about 30 miles up the road from me, and it's in the Castle Mall shopping centre, and it's at the Honesty Library, which is a beautiful concept in its own right. But you can pop along there anytime between 10:30 and around 4 p.m. Tomorrow, and you can come and meet Robin, and he'll tell you all about it, and you can get into it, and you can start playing with Modular as if you wanted to do that sort of thing. And of course, Robin's the guy behind Synth East as well, and he's written for Sound on Sound and Electronic Music magazine and all sorts of other things. And yeah, this is a genius little idea, and I know he's been thinking about this for a long time. There is a promo video. It's about 5 or 6 minutes long, so we couldn't really kind of squeeze it in here, but go and watch the video and you can learn all about what the Synth Picnic's about, and hopefully this is something that can grow and maybe happen in other places, not just in Norwich, but this is where Robin and I live in the vicinity, so it kind of made sense for him to do it there. I should be popping along, so if you're going, come and say hi. But yeah, this is the Synth Picnic. Scott, have you ever fancied going on a Synth Picnic?
It sounds like a great idea. It's modular side of things is just it's not that it's not my cup of tea. It's as I've mentioned before, it's a rabbit hole that I am scared to enter the front of, because I know I will just end up with walls full of this stuff. So yeah, it's so this is probably something that I will avoid for my own sake, not because I won't enjoy it, or for my wife's sake, should I say. But no, it looks like it's a very, very good idea as well.
Isn't it?
And again, it's another thing to sort of get, could be young ones saying, look, Mum, Dad, can we rent this for a week and let me try it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great idea just to get these things in the hands of people that have maybe thought about it but not quite sure.
Yeah.
Great idea.
And it's not just modular.
And Robin's a good guy as well.
Oh, he's absolute gem. But it's not just modular. He's done a hookup with Signal Sounds.
Oh, okay.
They're up your neck of the woods, aren't they? Edinburgh?
Yes, yeah, they're Glasgow.
Glasgow, that's it, yeah. So Signal Sounds, they've done some deals. So yeah, they hope to have them available on the day. But if not, you can order direct from Signal Sounds. So you can get a Modal Cobalt 8 for $595. Pittsburgh, that thing, the Pittsburgh Tiger,
sounds fantastic.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
it really, really is. Semi-modular thing, $865. The brilliant Arturia Mini Freak, they've got a deal for $469. ASM Hydrasynth Explorer, $577. And this is an amazing synthesizer, the Supercritical Redshift 6. Of course, we had the guys from Supercritical on a few weeks back, and we hooked up again at Bristronica. That's doing gangbusters, and has just had or is getting a new firmware update that supports MPE as well. The very affordable Donna L1, which looks surprisingly like an SH101, but it's that one with the detachable keyboard. Do you remember we covered that?
Yes,
magnetic keys.
Yeah. So you can use well, I guess the concept is you just swap the synth engine and just plug it on. Instruo Seashell is getting an airing there as well. There's a stylophone, so if you're looking at that end of the scale, nice stylophone Gen X2. Korg Minilog, there's Innovation Peak, Dreadbox Erebus, which is a lovely box as well, and the Hades, and of course the Nymphes, which I think it just sounds incredible. And there's a whole bunch of ARA compact stuff. There's Moog desktop synth. There's all sorts. You get the idea. But this, I think, is fantastic because we are losing so many of our high street, bricks and mortar retailers. Certainly here in the UK. I don't know what it's like in the US. It already seems to have kind of been whittled down to Perfect Circuit, Sweetwater, and Guitar Center, isn't it? And that's about it. Although saying that, the Sweetwater headquarters is like a shopping mall in its own right.
It was gigantic, yeah.
Yeah, it's vast. I want to go. So do you think this sort of thing would go down well on your side of the pond, Dan, Mike, Mal?
When I was a teenager, I took my Yamaha PSR 500 with the built-in speakers to a beach one day with my friend who brought his guitar so we could play out on the beach. And it took about 5 minutes for the keys to fill up with sand and to get stuck. So I hope it's not that kind of picnic.
No, it's all indoors.
But I mean, what a wonderful thing. It sounds amazing.
That's
How much
great.
fun would that be? I'd go in a heartbeat.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Mal?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 200 miles away from an instrument store,
Yeah.
so it's really hard to just have something, But can you imagine, back in our day, to be able to rent something?
Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But just to your point, Robbie, when I was in London, I went up to Denmark Street. What a disappointment!
Yeah.
Everything's gone.
Yeah, it's the few sort of odd guitar shops.
Yeah,
There's
I
the
went to the
Roland
Roland
store.
store.
Yeah, that's about all.
That was
Got to
horrible.
ask you, if you went to the Roland store, did you play the TR-1000?
I did.
What did you
For-
think?
I had 30 minutes with the guy. There was nobody in the store except for some
Wow.
kids pounding drums, and then I played, and then he let me have it for an hour. I mean, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Not my bag, to be honest. But,
No.
Yeah, you could. I would have preferred if they just re-released an 808.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. We did posit on the show. Was it last week, Scott? We covered the TR-1000.
Yeah.
It was,
No,
yeah.
last week. Yeah.
We did say that what a lot of manufacturers used to do, and I'm thinking hopefully this is what Roland do. They come out with a flagship thing which has got everything in it,
Everything.
and then they go, right, let's take that bit,
Yeah.
and maybe we will see,
Fingers crossed.
a proper analog 808 or a proper analog 909.
Yeah, I would just like all that function. Take away all the ACB and all the FM, and just have the analog stuff.
Yeah. No, I still need to get my hands on a TR-1000. I've been begging and borrowing, and nobody's replying to me. But I might just have to go down to London to have a play with it there, because, like you say, there's nothing. We've got nothing here. We haven't got
It's such a shame that there's
It is.
just nothing now. Nothing at all. And I don't know if it's the same over your guys' side of the pond, but you'll order something in the hope that you like it. But if you don't like it, a lot of these companies charge you to send it back.
Restocking.
So
fee. Yep.
yeah, so it's like, well, hang on, you guys are saving having all these shops all over the place by being online. The consumer is the one that gets reprimanded for that. That's kind of wrong, I think. But I think I'm maybe 70 miles away from nearest sort of place where I can go in and try anything out.
I was just trying to think, because we lost our PMT store when they went under a few weeks ago or a few months ago. And I'm just trying to think. I think the nearest one we have now is, I don't know if it's still there. I'm pretty sure it is DV247, which is now part of musicstore.de.
Yeah.
But I think they still have their showroom and warehouse in Romford, in Essex, just down the A12. So, you have to get in your car and drive a considerable distance wherever you are.
Yeah.
In the U.S., the new CEO of Guitar Center that's been in place for, I don't know, the last 9 months or so, has done a better job of improving the selection they had in stores. I mean, more than a year ago, you'd go in and a synthesizer, you wouldn't find a synthesizer in Guitar Center. And they used to, again, all the smaller stores have gone away. and I'd heard about this, and I frankly was surprised a couple weeks ago when I went into our local Guitar Center store, which is a small store. So it's a C-level store, not one of their big A-level flagship stores. And the selection was honestly impressive. I mean, they had a Messenger, they had a Muse, they had a lot of products that I did not expect to see there at all. Now, they weren't all hooked up. That's a different story, but they had them.
Yeah, exactly. That's a bonus. If you want to know how much this costs to rent out, obviously don't ignore the thing that's got 0 reviews because it hasn't happened yet. But you can rent yourself out something like the Bullfrog semi-modular synthesizer for £3 to £5 a day.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, Synth Picnic Erica Synth modular system, £3 to £10 a day. And the BARP 2500 modular system for £6 to £10.
It's very good.
Yeah, and then you book it in and you pick up and drop off, and it's just a very, very cool idea. So if you are in that neck of the woods, if you are in the beautiful city of Norwich, then do come along. I'm going to sort of try and hang out there, but Abominable Music in the chat has just informed me that there's also a record fair in Norwich tomorrow. I believe that's got to be at St Andrew's Hall, in which case it's huge. So maybe I will be in 2 places. I'll be there and at the record fair. See if I can pick up some classics there. But yeah, come to Norwich, if only to see the wonderful castle as it is now, but also to come to the Synth Picnic. I've just noticed also the wonderful Dina Perlman, who I've seen so much of in the last 10 days or so, at Bristol and of course in London as well. Thank you to the ProSynth Network and Cherry Audio for unprecedented support. I speak for myself here when I say you're absolutely welcome. I'm sure Dan would reiterate that as well. Thank you so much for your donation. And also thank you for the shout out in your presentation. That was completely unexpected, but graciously received. So thank you very much indeed, Dina. I hope you had a safe flight home on Sunday, I believe it was. So I hope you're settled back there and busy. Right, so we've got about 10 minutes left. What else have we got? I don't think there's a huge amount. There is. There's this one thing here. I'm going to play you, again, the beginning of this video. I don't think I'll get too much of a copyright claim on this one. So let me just bring this into the screen and press play. This is something that is coming soon to a computer near you. Can you see what it is yet? This is so for those that aren't aware, The Usual Suspects, not the film, but this is a team of developers. Over the last few years, they've been developing emulations of a particular Motorola DSP that was used in a bunch of digital synths in the 90s, such as there's some Waldorf stuff in there. There's the Clavier Nord lead.
Access virus. The access virus was the big one.
Virus, yeah, absolutely. So they've been working on those chips, and now it seems they have branched out because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the DSP chip that was used in the Jupiter or the JP8000 or 8080 was a Toshiba DSP chip, and according to the crawl there's no public documentation for this thing, but they seem to have managed to clone it and come up with a version of the JP8080, or as we can see, the kind of rat mount version there, in software. And this is not available to get at the moment, and the way they kind of get around the legality of it, so I just need to make this very clear, is that you must own a device that has the original firmware on. So you need to own a JP8080 legally to use this. However, on the internet, you can find the firmware code somewhere lurking in a corner. I can't tell you where, obviously, but that's how these things work. But this is rather cool that a group of very clever people have come up with the DSP for something as powerful as this. Now, we've already had very recently the Arturia Dupe 8000, which is an incredibly good emulation of the Roland JP80 or 8080 and 8000. I'm still flabbergasted that Roland haven't jumped on this themselves.
Yeah, so am I.
Which is just crazy, because there's clearly a massive demand for this, because the excitement that was around this was incredible. Gentlemen, I mean, as software, certainly Dan and Mel, software developers, what do you think of teams of people like this that are kind of, I suppose, cracking the code and putting stuff out there? I mean, is this something you're interested in?
Well, I know from our own customers that there's still a lot of love out there for the JP8000.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it was on the list of things to do someday for Cherry Audio, and Arturia beat us to it. And now, this is as good a, I don't even know what you call it. It's not really an emulation at this point. No. It is essentially like having an 8000 or an 8080. People love that synth, and I have an 8080. I get it. It's a cool, it's probably the pinnacle of that VA technology. So I'm not sure about the legality of it, as you say.
Yeah.
but
it's a gray area.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Absolutely. Mal, what do you think? I mean, looking at this, they've done a good job visually, haven't they?
No, it looks great. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the real thing, which is great. I'm on the Synergy. Has anybody seen the Synergy? GDS
Yes.
Synergy. So
yeah.
that's the same sort of thing where you have to find the ROMs and
Yeah.
but that's fantastic too. Although that needs a UI, but no, this is great. I mean, for years I've had a emulation on iOS.
Oh, yeah, Sunriser synth.
Sunriser,
That's a really good one.
I love that, and I've always wanted something on the desktop. And to be honest with you, as much as I love Arturia, not getting that vibe on theirs. So, maybe this
could be it.
Could be it.
What do you reckon, Mike? Any thoughts on this?
This is intriguing. It is a sound, again, a very popular sound that I love. I absolutely love that instrument. And I've certainly checked out the virus version that they released. I used to have a TC Power Core, and using a TC Power Core for the virus is hard to do these days. It's possible. You can keep an old Windows machine running, 30 or jump a 32-bit VST to make it run in 64-bit. I mean, you can make the old stuff work, but to have it work in a more convenient way is nice. I'd really be surprised if Roland doesn't go after them for this one. So I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's all to do with expired patents and things. So, a lot of this stuff didn't get repatented, or the patents have just expired because the company's lost interest. So maybe there's loopholes. I don't know, but it is a kind of grey area. Obviously, we're not condoning that people go out and break the law, But it's very interesting that these people exist and do some pretty damn cool stuff. So there you go. So if you want to keep on top of that, the website, I believe, let me just double check. It's dsp56300.com. So it's just the letters DSP and the number 56300.com. It's not on that website yet because it's only kind of been announced on their Discord channel. More on Discord in just a moment, by the way. But yeah, go and check them out and see what's going on. As Nick says, the loophole for them is that they don't include the firmware. That's on you to do that sort of thing. So I guess that's that. Now, talking of, I did mention Discord there. In light of, so a little while back, sorry, I'm just trying to get the link here. Here we go. Right, so I took advantage of Facebook community chats on the ProSynth network page, and we set up 5 different chat groups. One for buying and selling and trading, one for modular, one for there was a kind of like a community self, kind of just a general sort of community one, and Facebook announced earlier in the year that they were cancelling all of that and shutting them down. They haven't actually shut them down yet. They certainly haven't shut ours down. Right. Don't know whether they're coming to it, but they were supposed to shut down on the 5th. And so we had a lot of people say, look, we kind of like this, that kind of like this little area away from Facebook, away from social, mostly away from the main Facebook. Can we have a Discord server? And I thought, it's something else I've got to kind of look into and manage. Sure. Well, I use a Discord server every day for various other things, and I thought, go on then, why not? So I have actually created a Discord server for the ProSynth network, and I'm going to put the link on screen any second now. Let me just do that, and then just PSN Discord. There we go. It creates the thing. So if you want to join the PSN Discord, there's lots of channels there. That's the QR. No, that's the QR code right there. You know what I mean? It's there. If you scan that in and click on, but just I put the link in to the chat as well. Let me just do that. Lots of people have been signing up for it. I've created lots of different channels. Some are forum based, some are text based. If you have opinions on those, please do let us know in the appropriate channels, and we'll grow this organically. But if you're into using Discord, I'm hearing a lot of beeps on Discord right now, so it looks like a lot of you are joining in. But do come and join us over there. And wow, Jesus, guys, what's going on? I'm just getting loads of messages. That's brilliant. Thank you for joining. Wow, stop. Right, okay. This is great. I love it. So we're on Discord. So there you go. One more thing I want to tell you all about before we wrap up and say goodbye and let these gentlemen go about their business for the rest of the day. I don't know if you're aware, but it's the 40th anniversary of OMD's 6th album. Not their finest work, I must say, but their 6th album, Crush, is 40 years old, and they've just reissued it in various deluxe versions. And what they've also done, which I thought was incredibly generous of them, is they made an hour-long documentary about the making of Crush, and it's available on their YouTube channel, completely free of charge. And it is a gear spotter's dream. And of course, I got all very excited when I saw one of these. Not that I've seen enough of those over the years, but very quickly.
Is that a BBC computer?
But Stephen Hague, of course, who produced the album, and there's lots of some witty repartee from Paul and Andy. But I'll stop that there before we get a copyright strike. But yeah, Crush the movie is available, and it's a real synth nerd's dream. This, so it's over on YouTube. I'll copy the link. I'll stick it there in the chat. And of course, if you want to use your modern technology and scan the QR code, I believe, I didn't make one for that. Oh well, you'll have to do without the QR code. I'll leave the Discord one up there. But yeah, it's a really, really fun and interesting hour to spend just watching a band putting an album together. A band who had enjoyed enormous success up until this point. And this is their 40th anniversary of Crush. Of course, there's lots of 40th anniversaries happening at the moment. You've got Welcome
makes,
to the
makes
Pleasure
you feel
Dome,
old, Robbie,
Secret
doesn't it?
Wish. Oh man, I just got delivered Dare, the Blu-ray of Dare Human
Wow.
League in Atmos. It sounds incredible.
Ah, superb.
So that's out now, and there's Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. That's coming out at the end of the month, along with Propaganda's Secret Wish. There's lots of 40th. 85 was an incredible year. Of course, it's the 40th anniversary.
It looks like you've broke Discord, by the way.
I know, it's bonkers, isn't it? All I'm hearing is
James Dyson and a few of the other guys are saying, "Yep, PSN have broke Discord."
That's what you get for having 5,000 subscribers now.
I know, right? We sell out
an
computer
army.
stores, and we have and we've broken Discord. Wow. What is all I'm hearing is just like, oh, there you go,
Ping,
Mike's,
ping, ping,
Mike,
ping, ping.
Yeah,
Mike's
I'm on there.
Tracker Jack, Andy. Oh, there's loads of people. Oh, welcome one and all. I hope you enjoy your time there. Please make use of it, and I think it could be a very useful tool for us in the community. I've made loads of channels there for hardware synths, for software synths. There's even a Eurorack one. It pained me to type that one out, but there's a Eurorack one there. There's community, there's welfare stuff in there. So, if you're looking for, just somebody to talk to about anything, it doesn't have to be synth related, come in there and there'll be loads of stuff in there. But thanks for joining. Stop joining us. All I can hear now is do-do. Anyway, listen, gentlemen, every single one of you, thank you so much for joining. Particularly, of course, to Mike Martin, our newbie for the day. I hope you enjoyed your 2 hours with us. And of course, to our veterans, Mal and Dan, congratulations on what is, like you said, it's your most successful synth release this year, which I'm not only staggered by, because that's incredible, but I couldn't believe that the Trident has been so successful compared to all the other brilliant things that you've released. But it's fantastic. I think it's great. As I always do, and I always say, you don't have to tell us anything, but can we expect anything before the end of the year? Should we, save 60 or 70 bucks just before the end of the year, or is this it for 2025?
No, I think we'll be back here next month, and I think people are really gonna like what we have to show them.
I love it when he says that at the end of every show, and I love it. So excited, can't wait. Well, listen, congratulations on yet another successful release.
Yeah, well done, guys.
Thank you for bringing that back into people's minds. Mike, thank you for the beautiful music you made with that thing. And I love the comparison video that you did with the Poly 6. You didn't really touch on that.
It's uncanny.
Yeah, it really was.
Absolutely,
it was like cigarette paper thin difference between the two.
It's hard to match them up, but because the Poly 6 doesn't have its own filter envelope. But I spent way too much time on it, and I was like, this is close enough.
Yeah,
it is so close.
Yeah, it was very, very good. So thank you, and listen, thanks for coming on the show.
Huge pleasure, guys. Thank you.
And we'll get you back again very soon, maybe in your own right, and we'll give you a spotlight on yourself. And of course, to Mal, welcome back to work. You've got to be smiles, because the boss is down below.
It's one culture shock going to Britain, and it's one culture shock coming back to America.
Isn't it? I bet. I can imagine. Listen, Mal, it's great to see you, as always. It's just such a shame we couldn't cross paths when you're over here, but one day we will, I hope. And so brilliant. And Scott, of course, thank you very much for taking the time out of your evening to come and join us.
Good to be here.
Please thank the lovely Shona for letting you out for a couple of hours. And,
Will do.
Thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you. And of course, if Kent is still watching, I hope you're feeling a little bit better than you were a few hours ago.
Well, soon, Kent.
And of course, to Andrew, who is away helping family move homes. I hope that everything is going well, and you're probably just sat there directing people to tell them where to do stuff. But whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a lovely evening. And listen, to everyone that's been watching tonight, thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that got us over the 5,000 subscriber mark. It's only been 5 years, but it's a milestone for us, and we're happy to have reached that. And here's to the next 5,000. And I hope it doesn't take as long this time, but who knows? If somebody wants who would enjoy this, please do share the link around. We'd love to have them on board. One very last quick advert here. Waves in the Park, which we've been plugging for the last few weeks, is happening in Bradford at a bandstand. Let me quickly play the trailer video. Here it is. So, yeah, Waves in the Park at the Bandstand Saltaire, happening tomorrow between 12 and 5. So please, if you're in that area, go and support that. There's just a bunch of people in a bandstand, in a park, playing synthesizers. How cool is that? So thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time, same place next week. We plan... It's kind of teetering on release schedules, but we are hoping to have a very special guest with us next week. The week after, about an hour before I came on air, I managed to book someone who I think is going to blow your socks off. More on that next week, but it's very exciting, and it does have something related, or it does relate to something we spoke about not that long ago. But that's all I'm saying. When they keep you on tenterhooks, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell to get notified. We've got some great guests coming on. Of course, we've got Guido from GS Music coming on in a few weeks' time as well. So we're going to end the year on a big high. But of course, Cherry Audio is having a big high. And thank you for joining us. Go out and buy the Trident. Go and subscribe to our Patreon or YouTube channel. Get those extra sounds as well. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I hope it's safe and you make lots of music. Don't forget, there's loads of other channels that are doing wonderful streams. You've got Synchrotron at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. You've got Ranzi at 2. Of course, you've got Jason Jervis, Get Jervis. He's doing his thing on Sunday. So lots of stuff to
James
go
Dyson
and watch.
Every night.
James Dyson literally every night nowadays, isn't it? Yeah. Loads of things to go and do. And of course, you can go and check out Mike's channel, go and check out the Cherry Audio channel, go and buy Mike's track as well off of Bandcamp. We will see you next Friday night. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.